Hello, beautiful ladies, and welcome back to another episode of the Bounce Back Better podcast. Today, I have an interview with the lovely Eileen Jemmett, and big shout out to my amazing friend Jack Quillen for introducing me to this fine lady. I'm going to read you her bio. Now, Eileen is the first of my guests on the guest segment for the Bounce Back Better podcast, and she is a styling and colour consultant, or interior design, styling and colour consultant. And her business is called In Style and Colour. And I couldn't believe that she was actually able to get that domain name, because what a river of a name. Anyway, I'm going to read through her qualifications, her experience, and then we're going to talk about how she's got to where she is, what she's doing. So if you're looking at getting some professional advice on styling, colours, interior design, this is a lady you might want to have a chat to. Okay, so you're welcome. Okay, you're ready. Here it is. Qualifications in interior design and residential drafting, and 12 years experience in the field of new home builds and renovations within the residential housing sector. Have an eye for colour, spatial awareness and natural abilities in teaming elements together to create a home for my clients reflective of their personality and lifestyle needs. When working with clients, my goal is to make their house feel like a home. Now, I resonate with that. Worked with many clients over the years, helping them with their colour and material selections for their new homes and renovations, which has led me to planning their furniture layout, procuring the furniture, artwork and accessories, and then final styling of their homes. Involved in a renovation in New from the beginning right through to the final staging of the property prior to sale, which not only earned interest from a prize home organisation, but my client received a very profitable ROI, return on investment. Loving what I do, looking forward to working with others on their projects and bringing the same level of excitement and enthusiasm to each project, regardless of the scope. Now, that is a very bullet-pointed intro that Eileen has given me of her, but that is nothing compared with what we're going to talk about today, how she got to where she's going. And just a reminder, my friends, that you too can achieve and do anything you want. But let's now talk to Eileen. Thanks, Eileen. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
And I want you to look at what Eileen's wearing. How cool is that? It has matching pants. When she walked up, I thought, oh, wow, how cool. Okay, so Eileen, 4 kids, and I've got a list here. She had one a year for 4 years in a row. What were you thinking? Let's go there. Who has 4 children?
Not sure about that, but yeah, we did the 4 kids really quickly.
Yeah.
Stay-at-home mum for 14 years. And
2 things. Must have been chaotic.
Yeah, it pretty well was, yes.
Yeah.
So I was pregnant with my first child when we started building our first house.
Mm-hmm.
There for a couple of years, and the kids just kept coming.
So yeah, I don't think we can blame the children for that. Okay, so the kids came along every year for 4 years, but let's start with right back to when you knew that this was what you liked doing. How did you know that you were into interior design, styling, colour, that sort of thing?
Well, without really realising it, it's something I've been interested in forever. So, it can date back as far as when I was a child and had to go to church every Sunday. Rather than listening to the priest, I would sit there and reconfigure the structure of the building into different rooms so that our whole family could fit in there and we could all just share a room with 1 or 2
So you actually
siblings.
Renovated the church?
Yeah, in my head I did, yes.
Oh my goodness. Did you do colour and styling as well? Like, did you actually do the whole thing at that age in your head?
I used to go into other people's homes and look at things and go, well, looking at colour and things like that. But again, it was something that I kind of didn't know I had a knack for. It was just what I used to do in my head. So, yeah.
And I think that a lot of people have that skill or ability of something because that was your normal. You didn't realise that it was a skill.
Exactly.
I have the same thing. I have a goosebump thing happen. So when I'm coaching somebody or talking with somebody, sometimes I get a reaction.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that everyone doesn't get that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was with colour with me.
Yeah.
And when I actually, look, this is going to sound really weird, but
I like weird.
We own a built a house up near Condolilla Falls in Flaxton, and in that house, and we did pretty much 85% of the work on ourselves. So my husband's a Sparky, so he did all that, but it was steel frame. We put all those up, did all the painting, everything, all the colours and stuff. I remember going into the paint shop actually to get the paint tins, And the guy's standing there because it was in those times where you kind of did a different colour in each room, but our house actually flowed. It was really kind of cool. And anyway, the salesman's there, my husband's standing there, the salesman's there, and he's going, oh, these are great colours. And he just kept like amping it up a bit. And he's going, oh, these are awesome. Who did your colours? And I'm like, I did. And my head's swelling as I'm going. And my husband's standing there going, all right, mate, that's enough. I've got to drive home with her. And even then it didn't dawn on me. And then, I was just sitting down having a cuppa, and I was just like, someone literally kicked me in the guts and said, you need to get into interiors. And I was just like, well, that's what I'm going to do. So I studied from home while the kids were still at school and did my interiors from home. And then I went to TAFE and did residential drafting.
So what I'm hearing is that you had a skill, and I think many of us do, and it was a passion as well. And I think that it's learning to dial into your intuition. And like you used the word, you got kicked in the gut, like it was a feel. You felt it's like, oh, that's me. Yeah. But it took other people to point out, well, you're good at this. Yeah. And maybe for people listening, is there something that you're good at or you naturally do and you didn't realize that you're doing it, that you could think, maybe I need to do that. Yeah. Whether, it could be anything. Yeah. But I so get what you're saying. So you had the man saying how great you were, and that was the kick in the guts. You went back to studying, and with the 4 kids, the youngest was 5. So you had a 5, 6, 7, and 8-year-old, and you went back to studying. Is that how it started?
So I would have had 5, 7, 8, and 9.
Oh, 5, 7, 8, 9. Excuse the 1 year gap. Can't believe I got that wrong. That many children. And how was that, going back and studying with those many people to care for? Was it full-time study? How was that?
So I actually studied at home when I did the interiors. So I did that while the kids were at school, which wasn't too bad actually, because I'm generally pretty organised. Yeah. So I studied from home. The biggest thing that I come up with is I would smash out those assignments and then procrastinate about sending them in. So that's why it actually took so long in the end. But that was purely because in my head, your self-doubt comes in and things like that.
They think, what if I got it wrong? Yeah. And you weren't wrong. They were perfect. No. I suppose your marks were awesome.
I did get really good marks.
Yeah, perfect. So. I can tell by the way she's dressed. You had to have got good marks with style and colour for sure. So you studied for how long to get all of this under your belt?
So with the first one, the interiors, that took me about 3 years. It was really, really part-time around the kids. Husband's a FIFO as well, so I had to contend with that as well.
Right. So you're parenting alone with 4 children and studying full-time. That's awesome. Yep.
Thank you.
Well done. Love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And isn't that great, hearing a woman say thank you when she gets a compliment? Wow. Yes. And then what happened after that one?
So then at that point, I learnt to draw manual drawings, learnt perspective drawings and things like that when I was studying the interior design side of it. And then it was kind of at that point where everybody was looking for somebody with the digital drawing skills.
Right.
So me being me said, well, I'll go to TAFE, and rather than just doing, a CAD course or something like that, I'll do residential drafting.
Of course.
Yeah. So I did that over 12 months. That was really, really intense. Probably should have done that over 2 years, but I did it in the 12 months and then went on to work from there.
So when you say you probably should have done it over 2 years, I think what I'm feeling is that it was a stressful time. How did you manage being a mum and dealing with that stress of probably should have done it over a longer time? Or shouldn't you have? I don't know. When you say that, was it because of the level of stress in the house?
It was actually because it's a really involved course to do.
Right.
Like there's a lot of things that you've got to get your head around. And it's not something that, because there's a lot of math involved and things like that as well.
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh, lost me at math.
It was a lot to take in. So I think that if I had done it over 12 months instead of trying to do it in 12 months, I would have been able to take more in.
You mean if you did it over 2 years? And
Yeah. So I would have been able to absorb more of the information and be more confident in what I was learning and things like that. But, I still passed and I still did it. And doing that course actually really helped me with my spatial awareness as well, which is what you do when you're looking at scaling furniture and things like that and what's going to fit in a room. and, the pieces that are going to work and fit and complement one another. So that really helped me with that. So, yeah.
I definitely hear what you're saying when you're saying spatial awareness and the pieces that fit and what's going to work. We recently moved, and every time you move into a different style of house, you need to have a different style of furniture or whatever. But it's not. I have the ability to make it feel like home.
Yeah.
But I'm not natural. It's not my natural. I'm just not naturally good at that sort of thing. And even when it comes to property development, we outsource all of that stuff. And I know a lot of women who join our mentoring program or anything that they're part of, they'll be like, oh, I love doing the design and stuff. And I think, really? It's not. Mine's just about the win of getting the development. And I'm going to move on to the next one after that. But sorry, back to the getting it right in the house. I've bought a couple of pieces and I got it wrong. And once you do that, it's actually put me off purchasing again.
Yeah.
We recently had to buy a new lounge and it's on order now. And I went to the shops like 10 times, the same shop, questioning, is this the right colour? Is this the right one? Oh my goodness. And probably in hindsight, I should have had somebody like yourself come in, and I still probably need you to come in to do the rest of it.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Because just little things. So is that something that you do? Do you go in and help people just buy the odd piece?
Yeah, definitely.
What is that called when you do that? Is it just consulting?
So it's furniture procurement. So I would go into their home, obviously sit with them, get to know them, have a look at the space, see what they're about and all that kind of thing. And then I go away, put a couple of concepts together for them and see, give them some images of different furniture and stuff to make sure that I'm on the right path with them. And then I purchase the product on behalf of them, and then I style the property in the end. So organise the installation date and all that kind of stuff. So, But I do a floor plan, and I do that to scale with furniture pieces, so I know exactly what's going to work in there and the layout that it's going to be. So, and then I actually show the clients that as well. Yeah, it's different when I can sit here and tell you,
that's not going to work, or that'll look great there.
Yeah, and we'll do this and we'll do that, and you'll be going, what does that mean really? But once you actually see it on a floor plan, then you go, now I get it, kind of thing. So,
I've kind of done that with renovating. I've done the whole put it out, create the space, but not with styling it afterwards. And I suppose the way I get around that is usually get somebody to come in and style it afterwards, for if it's going, well, because I've always just sold them. But that's sort of where I head. Now, what was it like for you going into business after being a stay-at-home mum for such a long time? How was that in your head?
So it was a bit scary, really. Yeah, because as I said, I was at home with the kids for about 14 years. And toward the end of that, that's when I sort of did my studies as well. But actually, taking that step so when I first come out of that, I worked in retail flooring. And I ended up doing that for about 10 years. And whilst I was there, I was doing colour and material selections for a builder. And I still do those to this day, but also doing, family and friends jobs on the side and things like that. So it was daunting, but I was lucky enough that the first position that I had when I went into, was very family orientated as well. And he had kids around the same age as well. So it was an easy transition. I wasn't going into somewhere where I knew that if something happened to the kids at school that I couldn't get there. It was quite flexible with that. So, but confidence-wise, it was just like, whoa, I'm going out there. I've got to put myself out there. So,
And putting yourself out there, I think at our age, I'm going to say, it's a little, we didn't grow up like that, did we?
No.
We didn't grow up with social media or posting pictures of ourselves online. You've got to remember, cell phones came out about 20 years ago. And that's the beginner block one, I'm thinking. Yeah. And then we all had the Nokia push button, and you couldn't even take photos with that. So it wasn't really until the iPhone, which is probably even less than 20 years ago. And honestly, most of you are sitting here now probably thinking, what? There wasn't cell phones and you couldn't do that. How long has Facebook been around, or marketing, or Instagram, or all the things that are out there now? They weren't around. So we never grew up putting ourselves out there. No one cared what we ate. No one cared what we wore. No one cared about what holiday we had. If we saw them, we told people about it. So for people like yourself and me, it's a little bit that I'm stepping out and people are going to see what I'm doing. And I know younger people have that as well, but they've got that advantage, I'm going to say, and go for it. Younger people definitely use the advantage that you have of growing up with putting yourself out there. So how have you been able to overcome, Eileen, how have you been able to overcome that fear of being judged and getting it wrong? Or, people are looking at you to now going, well, I'm an interior designer and look at me go.
It's come with a confidence thing. So each time that I deal with somebody, speak with somebody and help them with their houses, it is a confidence thing. And it's the feedback that you get. But I also do a lot of personal development and work on myself as well. So if you had have met me a few years ago, I was very, very, very quiet, quite reserved.
And you're afraid of Jackies. Please.
Exactly. No, truly, we're like yin and yang.
Okay. Right, got it.
But, I did not have the confidence to, like we met out on the street this morning. 3 or 4 years ago, my heart would have been pumping, meeting somebody that I didn't know or hadn't met before. And that, was a huge step for me back then. So it's, like I said, I do a lot of reading. I do a lot of networking now, which really has helped as well. So once you actually get that, I know I've got this kind of thing, your whole confidence and your whole demeanor kind of changes. And in the way you speak or even like when I go into a room, one of the first things that I do is look for the line elements and things like that. So, but it just it's a natural thing now. Whereas before I was like, well, what if I put this out there and they don't like it kind of thing. But I'm confident in my abilities and in my knowledge and my skills that I know that I'm going to put something together that's going to work. Because I know what elements work together and I know the theory behind the design. Because there's theory behind it. So, and what might work for you in your home isn't necessarily going to work for the next person.
No.
Even though it might be the same layout and you might like the same style, it's different lighting and it's just a developing confidence thing. So the more people that you talk to and the more jobs that you do, and I get quite excited when I'm with clients, it makes them feel like that I am there for them, which I am. And I want them to create something that resonates with them, something that gets them in their heart.
I'm hearing clarity, belief, action, which is my mantra through life. Once you were clear about it, which was the kick in the gut, which is, once, even though you had an inkling, but I don't think you dialed into the whole, this is what I'm here for on this earth.
Exactly.
Then you started believing in yourself by studying and taking those smaller steps. And trust me, I get the whole going back to work thing. It can be challenging for women when they've been out of work for a while because you've been playing with Play-Doh and at this school mothering thing. And then taking the actions, which when you believed in yourself, educated yourself, increased your level of competence, it increases your level of confidence. That's that whole learning thing. And you are able to now take more actions, feel more confident, have those conversations, and you're just layering who you are externally. Exactly. So, and that's how I think a massive takeaway for people listening to this podcast is that we all start somewhere, and you all of us can do something. What you're talking about with buildings, I do with people. So I meet somebody and I have a whole lot of questions going on and I understand them and I see their thing. I can talk to someone in a coaching situation who's having a major crisis, and for some reason I have the right question to ask them, the right thing to get them to where they need to go. So I fully understand you. It just becomes part of you.
It does.
Because it's your thing. You were meant to do it. God, am I going to say it? It's like finding your purpose. Is that what it is? I know.
It is, because for so many years, and I grew up thinking I was going to be a nurse, to tell you the truth.
Was your mum a nurse?
No.
I could not be a
nurse. Thought that I wanted to be a nurse. The kids go, it's a good thing you're not, Mum.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
But it was a belief as well. So I grew up in country Victoria and from a large family. And so my childhood was pretty much go to school, netball, do your chores and help with the younger ones, pretty much. So, and I guess in those times we weren't encouraged to develop a creative side at all. So it was more, you leave school, you get a job, you do this, you do that.
Mm.
And I think as you get older, you kind of go, what do I want to do? I don't want to go back to office work, or I don't want to go and wait tables anymore. What can I do that's for me? And I think coming from being a stay-at-home mum for the 14 years, now's my time. So it was about me doing something that I enjoyed doing. Because, we were okay financially because my husband was working. Things were tight, but that's okay. But we could manage. But for me to go back into work, it was, what can I do kind of thing. And to find something that I actually love doing, which I didn't know I loved doing, let's be honest. It's just, there's no other word for it. I just love it.
It's just amazing, really, isn't it? It's just amazing.
Yeah.
I think, I think we've got some great content here. I think that the takeaway that I'm hearing is sometimes you don't know what you're here for, your purpose, or we don't know what we're great at. And maybe you sat in church redesigning the inside, or maybe whatever you did your thing. But maybe you did something, and then if you dial into it a bit or look into you and see what you love and what you're probably naturally good at, maybe it's in there. It can come in any form.
It can come in any form. And I also had Jackie, she believed in me right from the word go.
She's a legend.
I know.
She believes in me as well. I love it.
I had friends that, did believe in me. And I kind of struggled with my natural ability for colour as well for a little while with my eye for colour, because I thought, anybody can do this.
No, they can't.
But I've since realised that
can't.
Not everybody can do, and I've embraced that. Like, I'm just like, well, you know what? I have got something special that other people don't do, and I can help them with their colours and things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome. So, Eileen, you've stepped it up, and now you've gone mobile, and you're on your way to get your van fitted out. It was what you told me when you arrived this morning. So tell me, what does that mean?
So I'm getting some cabinetry put in the van. So what that means is I'll be carrying tiles, flooring, fabrics, wallpapers, tap fittings, handles, everything, paint colours, so that I can actually rock up to your house or wherever. I can meet you on site and can actually do your colour and material selections for your new home or renovation.
Yeah,
and you actually haven't had to leave home. So.
And what about online? People, do people have to be in the Sunshine Coast or Queensland, or can you help people online?
I have helped people interstate.
Yeah.
It's a little bit harder because the way I work is I like people to feel and see what they're getting. So when you look at something online, the colour's going to look different. And so you get very much so.
Yes.
Yeah. So you might see something, let's just say grey, but there's so many different undertones in the grey.
Yeah.
And so when you take a photo, and depending on the lighting is going to depend on what you see. So it can be a little more difficult, but I've worked with clients remotely quite closely, and then I'll say to them, go and grab this sample and this sample.
Right.
And I'll order A4 drawdowns from them, A4 drawdowns, which are paint charts, so that they can actually put those on the wall so that they can see what it's going to look like. But the trick with that is put something black underneath it so your wall does not interfere with the new colour that's going on the wall, and you get a better indication of how it will look.
There's a wee tip for those doing a bit of colour matching right now. Put black underneath. Thank you for that. So mostly your clients are Queensland based, or where do you prefer to it? Anywhere in Queensland pretty much?
Yeah, so they're Queensland based. So I'm based in the hinterland, but I sort of work anywhere from Noosa through to North Lakes and hinterland areas. But now that I'm going mobile, I can actually go anywhere.
Oh, there she goes. And she's off. Okay, what would you have told the 22-year-old Eileen? Let's look at who you are now, but what do you wish you'd told her, or who, if you could go back in time, what would you tell her?
So at the age of 22, I was travelling. So I knew that I needed to expand my...
Church renovations? No.
Well, I needed to... I was from a very small country town, so I needed to... I always knew I wanted to travel. I wanted to see more of Australia and experience new things and meet new people and things like that. So I would say, if you're not 100% sure that you know what you want to do when you finish school, just don't worry about it. go and get some experience, try a few different things, travel, and, it'll come when it comes. And when it comes, it comes at the right time. And, then you can throw yourself right into it and you just know what it is then. So I wouldn't worry about, what am I going to do and what should I do, that kind of thing. Just go with it and live your life, and it'll come to you if there's something that you're meant to be doing.
And then what about women that are doing things now that they don't love? What would you tell them? Because you've made some massive changes and started a business, and, we're of the same time in life. Yeah. So you've started a business as you've gotten older. What do you think, would you advise that for other women, or what would you tell about, what would be the advice on that?
Just do it. Honestly, whilst I was very fortunate in working in retail flooring for the 10 years, I knew that I had to do something else. Like, I'd kind of done that. So, and I needed to fuel my passion. So it was time. And if I didn't do it then, I wouldn't do it then. But if you're in a position where it's not doing it for you anymore, then take that step and do what you are going to do. And I know that it's hard because everybody's got financial constraints and things like that. But if it's something that you really want to do, just do it, because, you're going to be happy and you're going to love what you do, and it's going to show in your dealings with people. And
as well, when you exude that passion, when you have that energy for doing the thing that you love, you make yourself more lucky. You find people that come to you in the right time. My next chat eventually is going to be the florist out the front who's left school teaching to open a flower shop. Same thing, just that passion of wanting to do something that she has just loved doing and was doing on the side. But like you, I think we're reminded that we create our own luck. And when people go, oh my God, you're so lucky, you're doing this, you're doing that. Well, you did that study time. You've made it happen, and you've created your own luck by, number one, making the decision to do it. There's an idea. Make decisions, my friends, and then follow through on them.
That's the only way it can happen.
Anything else before we wind up, Eileen, that I've missed out or that you'd like to say?
I guess when it comes to, if you've got a project coming up, whether it be a new build or a renovation, and you're not sure of your capabilities and you need some professional advice, it really pays off to get somebody that knows what they're doing, because they take, we've got the skills to help you with it, but we're going to help you create a home that makes you feel like home. It's that, So you can live in a house or you can live in a home. Most people want to live in a home. So it can actually save you money. Getting a professional in. We do the work for you. It takes the stress out of it for you, but it's designed around you and your lifestyle. So that's where I'll be.
If you are somewhere in Queensland and you're looking at restyling, you're looking at interior design, you're looking at colours, you're looking at anything to do with making your home beautiful, I think you should give Eileen a ring. You could always have a Zoom chat with her or a chat on the phone. Will be a link to her website at the bottom of the podcast. But otherwise, you can Google the business name In Style and Colour, which I said, oh my goodness, I cannot believe you got that. And that's the and, or is it A-N-D?
When you're Googling it, it's A-N-D.
Yeah, so it's instyleandcolour.com.au. Worth having a look. And thank you so much. And I hope that we've inspired you listening to go out and do that thing that you want to do, because remember, life's too short to live a mediocre life, and that's where elephants and people go to die. We don't want to do that. We don't want to be at mediocre land. We want to go and live our best life. So if there's something you want to do, then go do it. All right.
Thanks so much, Hilary.
Thank you. All right. Bye for now.
See you.